Hey, everybody. Welcome back to HoloNet Marauders Live. We're live.
Yes!
And that's our new intro.
That is too good.
Yes! Oh my
How's everybody doing?
I'm good.
I'm exhilarated from that intro, I gotta say.
Me too.
So, we've got our good friend Ryan joining us today. How's it going, Ryan?
Hello.
Wait,
it's going well.
There it is.
Jack couldn't make it today. But we got Ryan here, so we're pumped. How's it going, Chad? You liked our intro. I'm happy that you liked the intro.
I'm glad you like the intro. So that is a joint effort between us and All New Nerds, and
Yeah.
we can't thank them enough because they really had the backbone of all of that. I had to show my alto-ness there towards the end. It was great though. It was every time I tried to edit it, I'm not even kidding, I would listen to like 2 seconds of it and just start like hysterically laughing for like a solid like 3 hours. I was trying to edit like 20 seconds of audio, and AJ's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, this is hilarious. You don't understand.
When it gets to that one point, it just brings like a smile to my face immediately.
So good.
It's like too good because like we're not going to be able to match it the rest of the episode. So the highlight is at the beginning.
Yes, you can.
But we'll play it again at the end. So everyone's
Okay.
See you later.
Right.
Matt, what was your reaction to seeing that? What,
To seeing that.
Ryan, did you recognize that footage?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
I
okay.
did.
The last time Ryan blew into town.
Yeah. But yeah, we are not here to talk about Matt playing Oculus Quest, unfortunately. We could, maybe at the end.
Oh, we could.
But
We could.
we're here to talk about Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett, episode
Boba Fett.
Chapter 1. The Stranger in a Strange Land, right?
Do we need to play the intro again? I'm sorry. A lot of people just like sorry. Before we get into it, do we need to play the intro again one more time?
We'll play the intro again.
We'll play it one more time.
I'll play it right
because it's iconic.
The HoloNet Marauders. All right. I modified it there a little bit.
Oh my
How
god.
about that?
Love it.
That is
So
too
did
good.
everyone see the intro
right.
now? Is everybody?
Thank
Oh
you.
my God.
Thank you very much, Shez.
That is too good.
All right, so we're talking about Book of Boba Fett today, everyone.
Hey, Millie.
There will
Go on, Humor.
hey, hello everyone. Wow, the friends. Gang's all here. Gang's all here. So, we're talking about Book of Boba Fett today. This is your spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoilers for the Book of Boba Fett. We did this a full day after the show premiered, so that way we can hang out with y'all.
is.
So, here we go.
Yeah.
I have not seen the episode. No, that's not true. That's not true.
Imagine we just explain it to you and you give us your thoughts.
Leave.
So who wants to kick us off here? What were your thoughts of the
Really?
episode overall?
I thought it was good. I thought it was
Yeah.
it was fun. It felt like it went way too fast. Like
Yeah.
it's so quick. I mean, we literally just finished watching it again, and it was like
Hey,
we
time
like blew
flies
through it.
when you're
I
having
was like,
fun.
oh my god! But all in all, even though like not a ton happens, enough happens that it feels, it feels important. It feels good, and it's always nice to see the, Boba escaping the Sarlacc in live action. We got that on screen, which
Yeah, it's
cool.
People, I don't know. I haven't seen like a ton of people obviously complaining. With Star Wars, you always get fans complaining about something, but we waited 40 years, right? Maybe over, to see Boba escape the Sarlacc. We finally got it. We should be happy. It was awesome. They did it perfectly, I thought.
I think it's funny that you're like, it's taken forever to see it on screen, and it's just like for a lot of people that this is their first like experience of seeing Boba Fett like survive the Sarlacc. Like think about that for a moment. Like the Book of Boba Fett has to cater to the casual fan. And they did that perfectly with this, of showing this is how he survived it. It's not just like, this is what I wanted, this is how I wanted it to be, but it's like, no, you have to cater to the casual fan of this is the bare bones of how he survived it. And we got that.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Apparently, not everyone's read Jawas of Doom, the hit 90s comic where he escaped like the first time of 4.
Yeah, well, that is their problem. Clearly,
Those Jawas are absolute savages. Holy
my
smokes!
God.
They knocked him out
Yes.
cold. Whew.
Yeah, how do we? Was that all? Brent brings up how awesome the inside of the Sarlacc pit looked. Is that
Yeah, it
all
was perfect.
disgusting.
practical and whatnot? What do you think they did there?
it was
I
definitely
think,
practical.
some of
Yeah.
that had to be practical at least.
Yeah.
They stuffed him in a real Sarlacc stomach for that.
Yeah, very bold.
There you
Very
go.
bold.
Had to
Very
sign a
dangerous.
few waivers, but yeah.
That was
But
good.
yeah,
It felt like a living creature, like just
Yeah.
as much as the space slug from Empire, if not more, which I
Yeah.
think was the
Yeah.
key.
I mean, seeing it like that. I can't imagine a worse hell than being in the belly of a Sarlacc.
It was scary.
When I was picturing the stomach of a Sarlacc, I always pictured like this big, almost like dome, where you're just like stuck
Yeah.
to the wall or something. But no, it's just like tons of like just fleshy walls and darkness around you. It's terrible. That's just
At
It's
Galaxy's
terrifying.
Edge, don't they have like a little inside look
Sarlacc.
at what a Sarlacc looks like?
Yeah,
they don't have like a cross section of it.
No,
It's
no,
sort of
It's like
yeah.
a baby in like a
It's just like
It's
a
a
baby
baby in a
Sarlacc in the
tank.
tube.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
the one that Han takes to Doc Ondar in the Marvel comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, that one
Good
has
to
a
know.
story. Ooh,
Everything in that shop has a story.
Yeah. Bring this one up. This is my biggest question. So the hose, like what the stormtrooper
That
had
was
the
cool.
hose on his as
Yeah.
part of his gear. We've never
Yeah.
really like seen that before, have we? Like a hose in stormtrooper armor?
Not that
Not
I recall. I
really.
mean, if anyone would know, it'd be Ryan. I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the visual dictionaries, we see cross sections of the stormtrooper helmet, and there have always been hoses kind of running like this for what little air. We talked about this earlier, like what little air supply there is.
Yeah,
But
because we know that
We've never seen it on screen.
They
Yeah,
can
Yeah.
survive the vacuum of space for a little while, at least.
yeah.
We see that in Rebels. We see that in Rogue One.
I was
I agree,
terrified.
Josh.
Look, there was like so much in this episode
Yeah.
that was like it was like a horror movie.
You didn't
Yeah.
have an irrational fear of being eaten alive already? Because I
No,
do.
no.
I do.
Like Sarlacc, let's be real. Like original Sarlacc, he's just in the sand. You don't really know like the depth of it, but like actually like seeing this now, it's just like holy
You know what?
smokes.
You know what this
So-
reminded me of? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, and I can't believe I didn't think of it till now. Kill Bill, Volume 2. You guys seen Kill
Explain.
Bill?
Yeah.
Yes,
the
but I
bride
don't
gets
get your
eaten
reference.
alive.
She gets buried alive, and like,
Yeah,
but
that's
she
true.
crawls out of the sand. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
it
Again,
just kind of hit
it's
me.
That's a good point.
That stuff bothers me though.
before we get off base. Bum bum bum
Bum, bum,
bum
bum,
bum bum.
Yes.
But yeah, so many horror movie vibes like in this like alone with the whole being digested and then the
Yeah.
hand crashing out of the sand and like that was a really cool shot.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then obviously that monster at the end, but we'll get to that.
We'll
guy.
get to that.
We'll
Yeah.
get to that guy.
Oh, God.
Did you guys get sad with Camino?
Oh yes.
Yes.
That was, I mean, even just seeing like the briefest glimpse of it.
And I think
you-
Yeah.
Millie mentioned earlier, like that all new footage that we haven't seen. When I say new, I just mean like we haven't seen it, right?
I think
So-
so.
We've
Yeah.
chatted with it. I think it was just like the one shot of Django's helmet that was newer. Like that was like very crisp.
The
but
over
I
the
think,
shoulder shot.
yeah, I
The
think that
other
everything
shots
else was like just
Were,
refinished.
yeah.
But it's
they
all
were
new
taking
to
alternate
us.
shots of
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones, except
Yeah.
for the over the shoulder shot when he's looking into the helmet.
But yeah, none of
Yeah.
them were reused from the final cut of Attack of the Clone.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah,
were
I
new
think
to
so.
us.
So, do you think Boba probably knows that Kamino's gone at
Oh,
this
yeah.
point?
At this
Yeah.
point, yeah. And it'd be
Most
cool
likely.
it'd be cool to go back maybe next year and see that in Bad Batch season 2 maybe, because I know a lot of people wanted Boba in that, but
Yeah.
we'll stick to Book of Boba for now, obviously. But yeah, what else stuck out to you guys in this episode? I know we got a lot of time with the Tusken Raiders, a lot of flashbacks,
Yeah.
more than I thought.
Yeah, the Black Robe Tusken Raiders. I love them.
I
Yeah.
love this little group.
They're, like,
They're
so
very
cool.
cool.
They're brutal, but they're cool. Like,
We said it in our preview podcast episode for Book of Boba that we were looking forward to seeing more of the culture of the Tusken Raiders and whatnot, and I think we definitely got that. And I know, Ryan, you had a lot of thoughts on that as well.
I love the
what'd you
Tusken
think?
Raiders, man.
Yeah.
I always have. Yeah, I liked I mean, the look threw me at first because the look of the Tuscans is so iconic. Like
Yeah.
that goes back to the original film, and they tweaked them a little bit for the prequels. But I like the black. It sort of implied to me that these Tuscans are different from the Tuscans that we've seen before. You know, which
Yeah.
They're
is
cool
the idea.
Tuscans.
Which is cool. With the different tribes
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're edgy
Cooler
Tuscans.
Tuscans.
Yeah,
I
they're
like that,
Tuscans
though.
who never outgrew their emo phase.
Like
That's
you
right.
just like you just mentioned, Matt, it's a different tribe. I like how that's just one way they can differentiate it. To be like,
Yeah.
hey, here's Tuscans who are doing their same thing, but they are a different group.
It was
And
actually.
this
No, go ahead.
one thing I find interesting, additionally, with this group of Tuscans is they put so much emphasis in The Mandalorian that the Tuscans have their own version of sign language. These ones didn't at all, at least not that we saw. And I
Yeah.
find that so interesting that they tried to do that so much in Mandalorian and succeeded, and then in this so far they haven't utilized that at all, which is just
Yeah.
interesting that they did that world building and they didn't do it this way. So that's like a little criticism
Well, I
there,
think
that they didn't include that somehow.
I thought of that, but my take was that because we know from Aftermath that, like, right after Return of the Jedi, Cobb starts diplomacy with the emo Tuscans. I love you too,
Love it.
Becca Soka. Right after Return of the Jedi, Cobb Vanth kind of reaches out to the Tuscans and starts trying to broker an uneasy peace. I kind of figured the sign language came from there.
Right. So the one last important part of this is this Tuscan story arc is 5 years before the events of the
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
during Mandalorian. So again, this is like right after Return of the Jedi, and
Yeah.
then the story is every other time. So just remember, there's two stories going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they may not know sign language yet. I mean, who's
Yeah.
to say that they always have?
And it comes down to, I was thinking about this when we were watching this. Like the Tuscan Raiders that we see, like the iconic, like beige robed Tuscan Raiders that we see, they all seem to be in like the Mos Eisley area.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah,
every
this is
time we
Mos Espa.
encounter them, we're near Mos Eisley.
Yeah.
But like
What about
Now
the pod race?
that was what I was going to bring up. The only
Oh.
time we see Tuscan Raiders near Mos Espa is at the pod race, and they have their beige robes. So I guess that kind of throws
and Mos
my
Pelgo, obviously.
idea. Well, Mos Pelgo
I like
is-
the idea that the
is
different
kinda near.
tribes are actually like more individuals so
Yeah.
individual from other tribes. I
Yeah.
like that a lot. It's definitely something that we need that we didn't know that we needed before. I love how we're getting so much like Tuscan Raider lore that we didn't know that we needed, and it's great.
I
yeah,
knew we
exactly.
needed
There's
it.
there's a lot in the chat about the kid. I love the Tuscan kid. Like the moment like the kid showed up, I was so excited to see a child, the Tuscan Raider
young
child. I was so excited because it's so rare that you like see one. That's this interactive.
Yeah, and we've talked about it a lot, and we don't know if it's a boy or girl. I don't think, right?
Right.
So
Subtitles say he,
I-
but could be misleading.
I sort of stole, or I subscribe to the idea that Jamie and Ryan both have with this child. And if Ryan, if you want to explain it,
You said stole. You go ahead. Keep stealing.
You want me
Well,
to explain
you-
it since you stole it from
you
us?
can
Yeah.
you can cover the legends part of your theory.
Yeah, gladly. I mean,
but-
in Legends, you had the Het family who were humans, and they were also Jedi and best friends with Anakin, and super long lived because this was Dark Horse Comics at its height, baby.
Darth
But
Vader.
Darth Great was the younger of them,
Mhm.
and they were humans who were taken in by the Tuscans, and they were like accepted because they didn't do bad things that the Tuscans do, but they kind of went along with the tribe. They protected the tribe. They helped the tribe until Asherad Het the younger. I believe he got too close to the Lars Moisture farm after Order 66, and Obi-Wan, who knew him from his time with the Jedi, fought him and cut off his arm. And the Tuscans said, you could be a Tuscan without really being a Tuscan, but if you can't wield a gaffy with two hands, you can't be a Tuscan. And the Sophie Thatcher biker girl in the one Book of Boba Fett teaser, it kind of looks like she has, my girlfriend Becca noticed, it kind of looks like she has a robot arm from
Yeah.
here down.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't
don't know.
notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
only
the
noticed that once.
implication here being that that girl is obviously a Tuscan, a former Tuscan.
The child, well, yeah, an adopted
and a
human
pa- and-
Tuscan.
And
That's what I think.
the theory
I
being
mean, like,
that it's the child that Boba.
I love it. I love
without
it.
knowing
years
any
ago.
of that Legends lore,
Yeah, you came up with
I
it.
threw that out there as well.
Yeah,
'Cause,
Jamie,
like,
what brought you to this?
Well, what brought
this
so
theory?
So we got the trailer like last week or 2 weeks ago of what's the actress's name? Sophie Thatcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's gonna be in it, and we don't know who she's gonna be because she wasn't in it this week, obviously, not that we know of. But like the moment we saw this child and knowing that it's 5 years before, like it could very easily be like a 12-year-old like girl, and then like 5 years later, just a 17-year-old, maybe 18-year-old like girl. Like Star Wars loves 18-year-old protagonists, so
Yeah.
like I feel like they could just so easily slide that in. Plus, it would make sense if like Boba chose multiple times to not kill this kid, and
Yeah.
then there would be a
So
reason.
that there could be like some connection there. You know, she meets him 5
Yeah.
years later, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's you.
Not necessarily a like Boba being, I'm going to adopt this child like every single man in Star Wars has done recently. I don't think it's going to be that. I hope it's not that.
No,
I just hope that they meet up somehow and there's just a little bit of help.
I saw that it is an amazing theory, but I saw Lisa mention that we do see Boba with the gaffy stick in
Yeah.
Mando,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think even his robe,
It's
the
a
black
robe.
robe, it's
Tusken robe.
from them, right?
It's
the
these
same thing.
Tuskens. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same robe.
So I'm
Oh,
assuming
these- yeah, I didn't even think
he's
of that.
kind of been honored past like
Oh.
the test of honor, so to speak.
Yeah.
This
And-
not even a test of honor. It's more of just like, hey, you didn't
You helped
kill
us
our
out.
kid.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to trust you because the chief like gives him like the drink and whatnot, which is just so
Yeah.
funny. We
That's a
we
start.
now
Crap
we now
water.
have Tusken Raider with the shell cup just like chilling, watching him like this entire
How do they
time.
sip it through the mask?
That's a good
That mask
question.
is
Carefully.
so deep.
There's
like
like-
it's so deep. Like you got to pour it in.
They have
and, you know, like,
built-in straws, maybe. I don't know.
maybe. we saw stormtroopers with built-in tubes. We can see Tusken Raiders with built-in straws. I think that's
Yeah.
that's plausible.
They were
Sipping
so
at the
jealous
speed of
of the Talls have like their own like straws
Yeah,
built
the
into their
Oh
mouth.
man,
so
they just come out.
yeah.
They just come out and like sip. I love that.
I love it.
I
This
saw-
tribe of Tuskens, just hot take real quick. This tribe of Tuskens are all emaciated Talls. That's
There
it.
you go.
That's my
Hey,
yeah.
it's
That is a really
Don't at
hot
me.
take.
They're really hot.
Thanks.
Talls,
This was a great
because the
time.
talls are used to
Really hot
cold weather,
talls.
and they're like,
Yeah, there we go.
they're
Cherry
like, why the
bomb Talls.
hell are we on Tatooine right now?
It's
What-
really
what are
warm,
we
guys.
thinking?
What are we doing?
That's why they're so mad. They're beating
Yeah.
people up.
They're so aggressive.
So,
I see.
do you guys think that throughout the season we'll have consistent flashbacks to this group of Tusken Raiders, or at least like a couple
Oh,
more
yeah.
episodes of this?
Well, I think
Yeah.
we're definitely going to get a continuation, and I didn't even think about the black robes until you guys brought it up, but now that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like he's
I didn't
probably going to
either.
become like an honored
I
Tusken
think
fella.
I feel like such a dope. I always look at all the costumes and whatnot. And I didn't even think that this is like a black robe from like
That's why.
that group of Tusken.
That's why. Same. I mean, I'm
You
not.
know-
I'm not a costume person, so it's more.
You know what I
shame on me.
noticed?
yeah. What?
I noticed as a costume person, I tweeted about this yesterday. I saw a Cobb Vanth shirt in the background on an extra.
Yes, you did.
I was like
Hey, it's
doing like the
very-
Leo, woo-hoo, there it is, like pointing. An extra was wearing like a blue vest over it, but it was the same shirt.
It's very Mando. You know, the Favreau reusing the costumes and stuff here and there. It makes sense.
But Cobb Vanth's shirt, he's like a lead character. Like, come on.
So
Brent,
they shop at the same
I
store.
was gonna say he bought it at the market. Like,
This just means it's a mass-produced shirt. That's what it means.
no, it means
Exactly.
somebody's sewing a bunch of red pill-covered shirts, and it's nice.
They really
I
like that
agree
Swiss
with-
dot fabric.
I agree
Brent
with
mentioned yesterday on All New Nerd Stream that
Hmm.
I think, and I agree with him. I agree with like everything Brent said yesterday. By the way, Brent, all your takes are great. But going through the season, I think we'll have this backstory and front story, as we called it yesterday, of
Yeah.
Story.
going this whole season, seeing the flashbacks and what happened and what's going on in the present day. And I think that's a cool way to tell the story because there's a lot to cover because that's right after the Sarlacc and 5 years later is Mando, right? So that's a lot of
Yeah.
time to cover. Of
Yeah.
he finds Cobb Vanth with the armor and sees Mando with it. So what happens in between?
You know,
It's a
we
lot.
don't know how far away Mos Pelgo is. We don't know how far away that is
That's
from.
true.
We know where it is
Although
from
Pel-
Mos
kinda
Eisley.
saw
Peli-
it. We-
Pelly
Yeah,
has
we
the
kinda saw
map
it, yeah.
actually.
The one time
That
we
was
see a
like-
map in Star Wars.
I
At
know.
least a full.
The Force
day.
Awakens is a whole movie about a map.
That is
This
yeah,
is
okay.
true.
The second time. The
A
second
lot of
time.
maps in Star Wars.
A local
Um,
map,
Oh yeah.
as we
Like a
gamers.
planet map.
The local
as-
boy.
Yeah.
Guys, wait.
Brent did go off, by the way. Yeah.
One of my favorite moments, Boba and Fennec walking through the streets. They had the Spot Boston Dynamics like robots
yeah.
like in the
What are your-
show.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm so excited. Okay, so for those of you who
Excited
don't
or
know,
creeped out?
excited.
Okay.
But let me explain. Because like it's very easily to get creeped out because like so for those of you who don't know, in this episode there's like a group of like three or four, like they look like dogs and the robots walking and they have like wings on them. Adorable. Those are real. Those are real robots. They're made by a company called Boston Dynamics, and they make robots. And you can like look up videos of like these robots like dancing. If you watch too many of them, you will get freaked out because it is very scary watching that. However, I love seeing them actually like just tossed into Star Wars. Like that is just so cool to take something that is a real live robot in our world and make it Star Wars and like actually just like slide it in there. And like they've done enough with it just to have them walk down the street and put.
Never again.
I love that they just tossed wings on them. It's just so cool.
The wings are
yeah.
cute.
So those droids are from MIT. So it's from Boston Dynamics, and so everyone
The
always.
Institute.
So if you Google Boston Dynamics or MIT Robotics or anything like that, you'll find that. And so they're called Spot robots. Yes. So
Yep.
Space Boston is real. Like
There
I
you go.
can't
Find
say this
Space
enough.
Boston, guys.
We have Spot droids. So these robots haven't been given a name in the Star Wars universe yet, but I really want to call them Spot droids because like they are called Spot in real life. So
Yeah.
they're now Spot droids or SPOT droids, I guess, if we really want to get like technical.
So SP0T.
Yeah, sorry,
There you go.
SP0T. Spot droids. It's great.
keep
I'm so
seeing-
excited. I love them.
I keep seeing a lot of good questions and whatnot in the chat, and I want to try to
Yeah.
get to some of them.
Sorry,
but-
I had to go off about that.
No,
'cause
we had to, right?
Space Boston is like half our brand, and there it is. So.
I sort of like. Eventually, Boba's gonna need help. He, based on the trailers and what we think is gonna happen, he's gonna need some help from someone, whether it's Cobb Vanth or whoever. I didn't think of him asking the Tusken Raiders for help with the crime space. I don't
I
think
didn't either. I love that.
the Tusken Raiders would necessarily care. Or maybe they would. I don't know.
They
Because they
wouldn't
helped with
unless
the
it
crate
affects them.
dragon. Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
unless they feel threatened themselves, so maybe
Or
Yeah.
unless they owe Boba one, which they might. They sort of do
Boba.
currently, I guess.
I mean, that's kind of, again, going back to Aftermath, that's kind of how Cobb
Yeah.
Vanth like levies that that kind of pact with the Tuskens is because the Red Key Raiders are like encroaching in their land and like doing stuff that they don't like. So, I mean, we could see that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think. Well, as far as the Tuskens, I mean, they kind of kept setting up. These people need water. They showed those people raiding the moisture farm. They showed the
Yeah.
water spouting off into the sand, and then they cut to that kid. The kid making the captives dig for water gourds. Like it all came back to water. Even the last beat is them rewarding Boba with water. If these raiders are raiding moisture farms and threatening Tatooine's water supply, I think the Tuskens can be motivated to action
It's a good
I
point.
agree.
because they keep going back to water.
I think something interesting. When we were rewatching it, I originally didn't understand why the kid took the two, so Boba and the Rodian, like just like out.
was odd.
I'm still a little fuzzy on that, but now that you say that it's all like about water, they were probably going to go
Always has
get
been.
water from that outpost, probably,
Mm-hmm.
and then they saw that it was under attack, which makes more sense now.
Yeah,
I kinda
maybe they
didn't
had
think
a
about
deal.
that
It always
today,
has
is
been
it?
about water.
That's
Always
a good
has
point,
been.
though. You know, he takes the two prisoners to help him carry water back. with
Yeah,
him.
that makes a lot
of
more sense,
You know,
'cause
that
if it's
guy
like a
has,
run-of-the-mill-
deal with the Tuskens or something to provide them water. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Rodian though.
Oh, that
Rodian
Rodian was a Sleemo.
Get out of
Sleemo.
here.
Get your
Sleemo.
snout shut.
He calls
Sleemo is
Boba a
nice to know,
Sleemo.
obviously.
I liked that. That was fun.
And he called him something with Poodoo. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know who we haven't talked about who is not a Sleemo at all? Max Rebo.
Max
Yeah,
Rebo.
alright.
How have we gone
Return
23
of
minutes
the King.
without
Look,
talking about Max
Oh.
Rebo?
My
there was
God,
a lot
it's
to talk about.
I'm so glad he's not dead. I'm so glad he's not
Oh,
dead.
yeah.
I don't know if
Same.
there was anything confirming that he had survived Jabba's sail barge in canon so far, but
Not
I'm
in the
so-
canon.
He
God, I'm
probably
so happy.
just had to he hurt his snout a little, but he's okay. He'll be
No,
fine.
he's
Speaking of snouts, where's Sice Noodles? Is she safe? Is she all
Is she
right?
okay.
I don't know if she'll be making a comeback, but
Did she even jump on the sail barge with them?
There, the three of them, the three originals, Droopy McCool, Max Rebo, and Sice Noodles are on the sail barge.
Droopy, oh no.
I'll take
Droopy
any
wasn't-
opportunity to say Droopy McCool.
Droopy McCool is one of the best.
Droopy
I should have
McCool.
worn that
Maximus
shirt
Rebo.
today. Maximus Rebo.
I absolutely loved this cantina. I think it was called the Sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
Yeah,
the
Garza
only
Flip.
place in the Star Wars universe with air conditioning. I love
Apparently.
it.
Palm trees
So
and all
good.
that.
Oh my
it was
god,
awesome.
it was a cool
Yeah.
place. That was a cool place.
The DJ Rex card dealer
Oh,
with the
Yes!
visor. That
Yep.
was super cool. I
Okay.
want to
Yeah.
hang out there.
Amazing.
Call it on the visor, like a classic, like a blackjack dealer, just like with like the little reflective visor and everything. Just so funny.
Max has become a cover band now. He does covers only.
Yeah.
with Figure and Dan.
Maybe
I-
Figure
Figure
and
Dan
I
Dan
choose
is
to believe
the
that
cover
was
band.
Figure and Dan.
That's my headcanon.
Maybe he
for
can
sure.
swap around the instruments. If he's the one that is the lead member of the band, you can definitely play multiple instruments. At least
Oh yeah, for sure.
give off the vibe you can. I love
sure.
how if you double check in the credits, it's literally the Cantina Latina.
Yeah.
So
I need
good.
that
I love
on
that.
I love
iTunes
it.
or Spotify right now.
I'm
I
sure
wanna
you'll
listen to
get it. I'm
Soon.
sure
Yeah.
it'll
soon.
come.
That'll come soon. The only song out right now is the theme song, which I'll talk about later. I have a lot of thoughts about that, but we'll get to that.
Max Rebo is immortal, by the way.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, you're right.
The one,
what
the
do
one
we-
true Blue King.
What do we think of this red, crimson, dare I say, gang that jumps Boba and Fennec?
I
They're
think
called
that
what's the
The
thing
Wind
they say
Whisperer
that-
The Night
Assassins.
Wind in the
Night
credits.
Winds.
Nightwind Assassins. So we
Yeah.
have, I think we have the name. I know we're trying to like reach for like Crimson Dawn or like the Red Key Raiders, which is something that I really want.
who do
Well,
you
I-
think tipped them off? Because I think that once they walked into the sanctuary, Garza, is that
Yeah.
her name? I think that
She's shady.
she straight up was like, "Hey, can you go kill those guys for me?"
No
'Cause
way.
she definitely
super nice.
she definitely
No.
knew.
They always do.
Okay, I love how Boba and Fennec literally walked in, and Boba's just like, "This is Master Assassin Fennec. I am Boba Fett. I am now your boss." It's just like this
I know.
woman, Garza, definitely already knew who he was and what he
yeah.
was doing.
So the gang,
Yeah.
I know Matt had the theory with the Red Key Raiders, and Ryan had the same theory.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it's the Red Key Raiders because I love the parallels or the continuations from Aftermath. So
Let's
that'd
just
be
call
cool.
it the parkour gang from here on out.
Parkour Gang. That's
I
a
like
good.
Parkour gang.
It's as
Parkour
apt a
Gang.
name as anything.
It's good.
Oh, right. They mentioned this. Brent mentioned this, and the All New Nerds mentioned that. I think that woman at the club is definitely in on it because
Yeah.
she put the credit. They put the credits in the helmet, so he couldn't put it on. And if you remember from one of the trailers, not to just go off trailer footage and speculate, but I guess that's what we do. There's a shot of her looking surprised, looking at like the door, maybe Boba entering. So like, oh no, the classic, he survived. Oh shoot, here he comes. So, Matt, I don't know if you were being sarcastic or not, but like, I think she definitely is up.
I
to
mean,
something.
it's funny because this is the first time I've ever heard that she might be behind
So
them. I mean, I don't really care one way or the other. I didn't form like an emotional attachment to her being like super nice or whatever, but I didn't.
She was very
think
nice,
Anything
but
of her?
I think
That's
that she
in
already
terms of,
knew, straight up just already knew who they were and what they were about, and therefore it was just like, oh yeah, sure, like I'll just like, yeah, sure, you guys want to talk business, all right, and then the moment they leave, it's just like, okay, get eyes on those guys because I don't trust them.
people
simple
that
as that.
people that start off chill usually are not chill, unless
Yeah.
they're Cobb Vanth.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's
Be
just
more like Cobb Vanth.
be more
Everybody
like
should be more
Cobb.
Cobb Vanth.
Do we think we'll
Absolutely.
see? Do we think we'll see Cobb?
Yes.
I hope so.
He's gonna go
I
and track
would-
down that one guy who's wearing his shirt. First of all, that's what he's gonna do.
Hey,
First,
Boba's gonna
Boba-
find the guy with his armor, and Cobb Vanth's gonna
Cobb's-
find the guy with the shirt.
Exactly.
It's just gonna be shirtless Timothy
Boba's
Oliphant,
gonna-
just like
Boba's
Yep.
gonna one up Cobb and take that shirt. He's gonna be like, oh,
Oh
that's Cobb.
my god!
That's Cobb Vanth's shirt.
I mean, like I'd count on seeing Cobb Vanth though, because like there was press earlier this year of Timothy Oliphant, and he had Cobb hair.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
I
Yeah.
really like. I don't know.
he
Do we
is.
think the mayor will be a bad guy?
I think
Yeah.
the mayor will
I
be
think
like
they were
one and
setting
done.
him up for it. I mean, the jerk didn't pay any tribute.
Yeah,
What's up with
they've
that?
set the mayor. I don't know if he'll be the main antagonist.
Maybe
he
there's
could
someone
be.
above him.
I think there's someone above him because the major domo. I don't know what that
Yeah.
guy's name is yet. I don't remember.
Major
He
domo.
literally says something like, "Okay, well, the mayor will find out about this, but don't be surprised if someone else like
Yeah.
intervenes."
Expect
So
another
there's definitely
delegation.
someone that the mayor answers to. So I don't think that the mayor will be like a big deal. The mayor's just gonna be like, "Oh, all right, here I am," and then someone's gonna come in and be like, "Pop up, you're dead," and then, oops.
It's
Yeah.
Maul again. No.
Oh,
no.
God.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
It's
don't
a
do this.
similar twist, I guess, right? But
Yeah,
it would be.
Yeah, yeah.
Brent hopes it's a hut. I don't hope it's a hut.
I don't think it's a hut.
I'm tired of the huts. The
I don't
Hut
hope
clan
it's a hut.
is dead from the comics.
And that brings
Jabba
me
the Hut
to
is dead. They're raising a hut
Yeah,
to take over.
I want to see that baby.
right.
I want to see the
We better
baby hut
explain.
that okay, so in
Yeah,
the
explain
Aftermath
this.
trilogy,
Grabula.
specifically in
Grabula gang.
Life Debt, they
Oh yeah.
they hire the guy whose name I'm forgetting, the Rancor trainer,
Malakili.
Maniki.
They find him. They find him in the desert, and they bring him to town to raise a hut that they found to kind of like fill in the power vacuum that exists in Tatooine right now. But since huts live for like 1,000 years, might take a little while for this little hutling to grow up. So he's probably not like ready to take the throne.
Not
My-
yet.
I hope he is stinky.
That's what I was about to say. My
That'd be funny.
headcanon is that he's Stinky. I think he's Rhoda
We need to see Stinky
or
again.
Rhoda.
That'd be
do.
great.
Do we think the whole, at least season 1? I'm assuming there'll be a multiple season thing, but do we think season 1 will just take place on Tatooine?
I think so, but to counter that, I
hope
don't
not,
think
but
there will be
probably.
a season 2. I think that this will be a standoff.
Really?
It's its own thing. Like this is just Boba's Cap story, and I think that he'll appear in future stuff, but I don't
Yeah.
think that it'll be like a continuation of it because I feel like this is just like one bit of his story needed to be tied up from Return of the Jedi to where he is now, which is what a common theme of a lot of stuff right now is we need to tie up something from like the 80s to like rehash case in point Ghostbusters Afterlife, The Force Awakens, bunch of stuff. We need to tie up that story. The Matrix, I don't know how that went, but I would assume pretty similar. Tie up a story so we can continue the story. That's what Book of Boba Fett needs to do, and then they're going to build
Yeah.
from there.
I think we'll see a season 2.
I think there will be a season 2, depending how it does. But
I
Yeah.
agree with Jamie on this one. I think Book of Boba
A one
Fett
and done.
is a one and done book.
I would sort of
Yeah.
like that.
Woo, bless you.
Bless you.
thank you.
I would sort of like that because the Marvel shows have done that. They're
Yeah.
doing one, and it's kind of like, it's like a movie.
Because the
We always
characters
want-
will like bleed over to like other series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But putting
mean-
Boba Fett's name on it sells it. I mean,
True.
I don't think they'll be able to resist that. I agree with you that it probably could
We'll
be
see.
one season.
We'll see.
Ooh, Star Wars 1313. Don't be
God.
breaking my heart.
Imagine.
And the nerds mentioned, I don't know which one of them this is, but we talked about it earlier. And I go
I
off
think
Brent's
they're gonna
theory of they're going to do
stop.
it the whole season.
I
think
think
they'll
it'll
stop
stop
at
about
midway.
midway. I think it'll
Okay.
stop about midway. I
would
Me
think
and
like-
Jamie
that
are the ones agreeing here. I like it.
if our theory that Child Tusken is the girl, if our theory holds, I think that the flashbacks will stop when they meet in the story, not the past story. I think that's
Then
when
he
the
can stop
flashbacks will stop.
He can stop having those dreams
Yeah.
because
yeah,
he's finally
exactly.
resolved what you know.
You gotta put a lid on that. It's done. Do we think that there's a Rancor in the basement?
I
Do
saw
we think
someone
it's
mention
Moochie?
earlier that it was Moochie.
Because
I
everyone,
hope so.
everyone in the chat is going nuts about Moochie. Like
Moochie.
you guys
I'd like
know
to see
that
Moochie,
I'm
I
going
guess.
nuts about Moochie as well. Like Moochie was Bibs, but like that was like the Bad Batch, and so that's like 20 years before the events of like the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that means that other Rancor and Moochie were coexisting in the same space, and Luke only kills the one Rancor. We don't know if there was another one.
Yeah.
I would love to
I
see
don't know.
Moochie. I don't think it's gonna happen though.
Yeah, realistically, I don't think we'll see Moochie, but who knows?
Yeah.
Unless Moochie wasn't at the palace and she was like somewhere else. And then if Moochie's like, oh my god, like not oh my god, but if she like kid, what oh
That
my god,
thing has a
no,
name.
No, what if like Moochie does appear and she like connects really well with Boba because he looks like Wrecker? Like I would,
Oh my gosh.
I would, and then it's and then
What are you
Boba's
doing?
smacking
Oh my
the
God.
Rancor. Oh god, I made myself sad.
I've seen this. Ronan asked earlier, will Boba and
Yes.
Fennec be involved in the crossover event show? Like, does he mean
Oh, I
Mando
bet.
and all that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
definitely.
100%. And there's
Man,
no
I think-
freaking way they bring Boba back from the dead just to kill him off at the end of this
Yeah.
season
Yeah.
or whatever show.
Mando, I think, will be in this show at some
I
point.
think he will too.
so
Yeah.
I think that's all but guaranteed.
I don't know
I
how,
think
but somehow.
that they're gonna get him in like in the next couple episodes because there's literally a one-off line in which Boba's like, "We need a protocol droid to like translate," and like
Oh,
Din
man.
speaks a lot of different languages.
he's the protocol train.
so he's the protocol droid.
There you go.
He's not doing anything. Why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've talked about Cobb coming back, possibly. I think he will. I'd be devastated if he didn't. Din, I think Din will show up. We've in our preview show that we talked about Book of Boba, we we talked about all these characters showing up. Did we lose any faith in those predictions, or what do we think? I know
Yes.
two of my predictions were wrong, but
I don't remember what I said. I remember saying that I think Din Djarin's going to be in the entire show. I think that he's still going to show up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that he didn't show up in the first episode, though. I'm glad
No,
that they
definitely not.
didn't fill the first episode with a bunch of cameos, and it was just Boba and Fennec and flashback, and that's
Ooh.
it. I like
Random,
that.
but Babu Frick is greater than Bib Fortuna in my mind.
Sure. Yeah.
I like that.
Babu's the mayor.
God.
What if the
Babu's the
mayor's an
mayor of-
Anzellan?
He's
Oh,
the mayor
yes.
of Kijimi.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
He's the mayor of my heart.
That
Yeah.
too. That too.
Oh, AJ, pull up Millie's. I think that they're definitely going to go to Anchorhead next episode.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see that business because
Oh, yeah,
this
Cammy
is
and Fixer.
Please.
Millie's been chatting about this like ever since we got like the
Millie
little
is
glimpse
the
of
number
it.
one Cammy fan, I'm pretty sure.
Cammy Marstrap's number one fan. We love her for it. Well, we love her for a lot of reasons. But
Cammy,
yeah.
oh,
Hey,
Oh.
AJ
All right.
has to leave.
done.
I hope you
I'm out.
but yeah. I really think that they'll go to Anchorhead in the next episode because Boba straight up says to the Rhodian, "Hey, we can make it to Anchorhead."
Yeah. So they're
So, like,
close.
Yeah.
He's definitely headed there, yeah. But how do we feel about the flashbacks overall? Did
like
any of you think
I
it
like
was
them.
too much? Did any of
No.
you think it was just right? Because
It was
you have to.
enough. I just
go
wish that after that last one we had come back to the present to see what Fennec was up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Just
to
a
see
little-
those two Gamorreans just hovering over his back to pod, just being like, did we kill him?
You know,
Is that right?
you know the memes of it's just like watching like my dinner cook in the microwave and it's just like the blank stare. It's just the two Gamorreans staring at Boba. Just like,
All right, we have to tell the chat about this, but
Oh,
What?
my
Matt and I
God.
have
Oh,
spent
God.
hours trying to fix the
Literally.
original Xbox.
I'm not even kidding. Right
Okay.
before we came on this stream, and for the past 4 hours,
Guys,
we've been trying
context.
to like.
context.
Okay.
The context is they bought the video game Obi-Wan, and you
For Xbox.
Of course.
for Xbox, the original Xbox, the one that came out in 2001. Yeah,
Yes.
original
Yep.
Xbox. And so Matt has an original Xbox that he's borrowing from a friend, and we pretty much it works, but then there's one piece that doesn't work. So for the past like 2 hours, like before this,
Okay.
the LA Noir,
I love that.
for the past couple hours, it's been
My Xbox for
Xbox
some reason
everywhere.
isn't reading discs, and it's not even
It's-
giving an error message. It's
That's-
just not picking up the fact that we put a disc in it. So
anyway.
we've been
Why
like
are-
tearing it apart and like fixing it.
Long story short, these
Long
two
story short,
goons,
these two-
these two Gamorreans looking
These
at
two
Boba
Gamorreans
Fett.
looking
Reminded
down at
us
Boba
of-
Fett are
That's
me
how we're looking-
Is-
AJ for the
it-
past 3 hours, with
Just-
Boba Fett being my Xbox.
Here's
looking
the
down
deal.
At us.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to take a picture of this after we get off the stream,
It's so
just
bad.
so
And
you
just
guys
like-
can see this.
Just like the Xbox, Tamura is a relic of the 2001, 2002 era.
This is true.
So,
This is true.
No, but we love
Uh,
Tamura. He's not a relic anymore. He never was a relic,
no.
okay?
Hey,
But
we
this
love
Xbox
Xbox, too.
is
He's a
a
gem.
relic.
yeah.
But for the love of God, please
Woo!
work. Mir Morrison can work again. So can you.
So, anyways, where were we?
No idea.
We were talking about. It was very odd that it ended on a flashback.
yeah.
Because it immediately was like directed by Robert Rodriguez, and I was like, oh, it's over. Like they ended on a it was a little weird. The theme is amazing. It's not as good as the one we came up with.
Yeah.
No, it's 25
Yeah.
times better. But
25 times better.
we'll try to make that one too.
That's gonna be a
possibly.
really big ask. No guarantees on remaking the new one because I don't think we can even hold a candle to it.
No
With
more flashbacks.
The
Huh.
I feel like they could
I don't
tie
know.
it up as is if they really wanted to, but I feel like they'll still throw in more. But I think that they
so.
could. They made it clear enough that like Boba was with the Tuskens and he spared a kid, and that's all you need to know.
And I think we're going to get more information about where Boba's been until he picked up his armor. I think we're going to fill in the gaps.
There is
Yeah.
a lot there.
Because
They might
there's
as well.
I mean, there's a huge
5
thing, and
years.
everybody was asking, like, where the hell's Boba been for 5 years? What's he been doing, you know? And we have that shot from one of the trailers or one of the commercials of Boba and Fennec Shan finding his
The ship.
ship.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
going to
Right.
happen in the show in the present day? Has he not like found the Slave One yet, or the?
Maybe. I
It
mean,
no,
okay.
he
probably
has.
would
He
be
had
at
it in
the
Mando.
palace.
Yeah, he has it in Mando,
Yeah, in
so this
Mandalorian.
one
So
takes place after Mando.
it has to be a flashback then.
So
yeah, it has
You
to
know
be,
what?
I
because-
So
think-
that means that's probably going to be flashbacks all the way until the end of the series.
So
Right?
And-
we'll see Boba saving Fennec as well.
Yep, exactly.
Because
Yeah.
like in
Which is
season
good.
1, I mean, like I was talking about this for forever. The moment she died, I was like, she's not dead, and like I'm so glad she wasn't.
I thought she
but
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see that, and then them.
And that would make sense
Hanging
because
out.
I absolutely love. First of all, Boba and Fennec are awesome in this episode. Awesome together. I
Yeah.
love them. They have great chemistry.
They're so
They're
good together.
funny. But it really does not make sense that all of a sudden this master assassin would be like, oh yeah, I'm riding Boba, do or die. It's like there's like a piece there that's missing. Like, I guess it could be life debt or something
think
along
it
those
is.
lines. But I want to see that because we see Fennec being this like really badass, powerful like enemy. And then in her next appearance, I don't want to say like a sidekick, but she's partnered up with somebody that you wouldn't expect
Yeah.
that kind of person to be partnered with anybody.
I'd
So
really like to
would
know.
like to see how that happened, how that came
Yeah.
out.
Did they know each other before he found her in the desert?
Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah.
because all bounty hunters know each other, sort of, and assassins, I guess.
But yeah, they know of each other and where they operate. I think that one thing that we mentioned in our like pre-show kind of thing, like I said, the one thing I want to see is a reunion of the Empire Strikes Back lineup. But there's also
Yes.
like the thoughts out there, like reunion of whoever's left of Krait's Claw. That would be really cool as well.
It would be cool. We saw
Minus Aurasing.
Yeah.
She did. She did.
What were you
we
going to
saw
say, Matt?
We saw Embo in the Aftermath trilogy.
True.
Yeah, and
Keep
Jamie-
coming back to
He just
Aftermath.
keeps coming back to Aftermath.
It does. It does.
I mean,
This
know,
is
as
why
it-
we
as
have
it-
you guys here.
And
Okay.
As
based
it-
on
it
the
should come back to
trilogy,
Aftermath.
I thought
we
you had
know
us here
that
'cause you like
Dengar
us.
is building the Bounty Hunters Guild by that time
Yeah.
as well. So again, we could see Dengar. Although, I mean, Boba's kind of getting out of the bounty hunting game, so maybe we don't need to.
Well, and we find out from a certain point of view, Empire Strikes Back, that Boba doesn't have fond memories and attachments to Krait's Claw. Like
Yeah.
Dengar wants to get the band back together because he's Dengar,
Yeah.
but Boba doesn't need that.
So
Dengar peaked in high school.
Maybe maybe not a
He did.
forced reunion, but an oops, accidentally, here we
Yeah.
are, all together again.
And Boba
What are
not
we
happy
doing?
about it because that
Yeah.
life is behind him.
Yeah.
And speaking of all the bounty hunters, do we think it's just a coincidence that the War of the Bounty Hunters epic comic series and Crimson Reign, War of the Bounty Hunters
Never a
ended
coincidence.
in October, I believe?
It's all
a couple
part of the
months
bigger
before
picture.
the show. Is that purposeful?
Purposeful,
think?
yes.
Matt, what do you think?
Jamie's so ominous.
I mean,
I can't tell right now. I don't know if they're going to.
So painfully obvious, it's purposeful.
there's always that weird balance of like, oh, did they dedicate this much to the comics because they don't want Kira in live action again, or like the Phasma treatment?
I think they really want to supplement backstory as much as possible, which is what they always have wanted to do. And I feel like as a newer fan who doesn't know that much about Legends, I will say that up front, which is why I have the help from you guys. They really wanted to like say, hey, these are characters you should know or at least be familiar with because they're gonna pop up again. Like I don't know that for a fact, but I would guarantee it. They wouldn't just be tossing this much effort into like a comic series that was that long for a show that's coming out right now. Definitely for War of the Bounty Hunters. Like I'm not saying we're gonna see every single bounty hunter in there, but I feel like we're gonna see like ones that we maybe weren't expecting in the first place. At least like the ones we saw in the movies before, and maybe some that we've seen in like other comic series as well. Like I don't know, Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah, you know
Maybe?
what?
Hey,
It's funny
yeah.
you bring that up because I actually heard something about that. I heard a leak.
Yeah,
It was
so
a leak
But really,
about
I
Black
think that
Chrysanthemum.
we will like see more of the bounty hunters, and I think that's really really cool. And I would love for them to include Kira. I don't know how they would like do it yet. I feel like it would be like a really big jump and really jarring for people in movies. But hey, we got Maul at the end of Solo, which was really jarring
Anything's
for people
possible.
who hadn't seen the
Anything's
animated
possible.
stuff. So
that was
That blew
That blew my
the
mind.
theater's mind.
Yes.
I mean,
That was-
that blew like my
did.
parents had no idea what the hell was
That was
going
such a
on.
big
It was
moment.
good.
in recent Star Wars because it tied something from
from the animated
from the
content.
animated shows that people are like, oh, I don't need to watch those to watch the movies. You know, there are those people, and it's like, nope, you do.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, I mean,
Wrong.
I like that the mall reveal. I mean, it was intended as a sequel hook, and it would have
Yeah.
had a sequel
Yeah.
happen. It would have explained. But on the topic of whether or not the comics are setting it up, one thing that I think we've noticed in the last 5 years since Star Wars like live action production is back full swing is that whenever some licensed print material like a book or a comic was developed with a future movie in mind, we know it. They plaster that on the cover. Journey to
True.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the Book of Boba Fett informed the development of War of the Bounty Hunters or Crimson Reign in any massive way. But I wouldn't be surprised if they got the nudge, like how Rebels Season 1 got the nudge, like, hey, hype up Mustafar as an especially scary place in this era
Yeah.
and have them hunt some kyber crystals. Like a little like slide a note,
Yeah.
you know.
I think you're probably
Good
right
point.
because like Rise of Kylo Ren came out right as Rise
And
of
that was-
Skywalker came out, and because they both were named Rise of something.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they did.
And
You
even
didn't
though
really
that
need
wasn't
one
a
for the other.
Journey to Rise of Skywalker.
No,
Yeah.
because it was
Because it came out,
releasing
like-
mostly after. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
releasing mostly
But-
after.
Yeah.
But,
But like
it would've
Aftermath.
been.
Yeah. Like Aftermath, he did have insights into where they were going with The Force Awakens, and to a lesser extent, The Last Jedi, because Book 2 mentions Fathiers a year and a half before. But that said so on the cover. Like,
It literally says Journey to the Force
Yeah.
Awakens on the Aftermath cover. I don't know if it does for Life Debt. Obviously, it wouldn't.
it doesn't, but that's
What am I
again a
talking
little
about?
nudge where they would have said like, "Yo, where you mentioned this creature, say Fathier."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They just had like an arsenal of things ready to go. Yeah.
Really,
Yeah,
what a peculiar
really-
turn of
Really
events.
peculiar. But yeah, I think that there's a really strong possibility that we would see Dr. Afra as well. Like I would
Oh,
love
that
to
would be
see her just
fun.
like slid in there.
Where
like
the
that'd
hell
be
did
really
that come
cool.
from?
Well, we were talking about Black Chrysanthemum, so I was like, oh, and then I think Chad mentioned
Chad,
it as well.
Chad mentioned Dr. Afra.
Dr. Afra.
Oh,
I would
there-
love to
okay.
see her in the show.
That
That
would
would be
be
really
rad.
cool because like we got the audio play with her.
Love that audio.
And so
play.
like I would love to actually like see her make the jump to TV movie.
I would love
and
that.
make sure
action?
she's holding hands with Sinostaros when she makes the jump, so
Yes.
she comes
Yes.
to.
Yes.
There
because-
they
of
go.
course.
Oh, I would love that.
Ah.
So good. It'd be great. It'd be
I-
perfect.
I don't want to get in Marvel Mephisto land here, but there's
Oh,
so
no.
many. There's so
We're
many
there.
people.
We're
There's
already
and
there.
the fact that I'm hoping for so many characters to show up in this, and
Jar Jar, give me Jar Jar.
hey, I mean, another Aftermath reference.
Another
Hey,
after.
Jar Jar's on the
You're
move.
damn
We know
right.
that.
Oh god.
He's a clown.
That was one of my
Sad
favorite
clown.
parts of that.
Oh,
show.
that made me cry, dude. That honestly made me like
Same,
die
same.
inside.
See, look,
That's an intense.
we all
intense
don't need to read
segment.
Aftermath because you can just come onto the HoloNet Marauders stream and just
We'll
listen
talk-
to Ryan and Matt
We'll tell you the best
explain
parts.
all of Aftermath to you.
We'll tell you. We'll tell
There
you
you
all
go.
about it. We'll tell
Ryan,
you all
have
about
There
it.
you go.
have you noticed what's in front of you on like a little mantle?
It's in front of me on a little mantle.
There's like
Other
a throne,
direction.
possibly action
Other
figure.
direction.
To
No.
your right,
Fronts.
straight
Jar Jar Binks sitting on
on the throne.
Oh man! To contextualize that, I'm sitting in their spare bedroom, but Jar Jar Binks on an Exegol throne.
Yes, it's Snoke's
There we
throne.
go.
No, that's Snoke's throne.
That's
Oh.
Snoke's
It's a throne.
For the record, I do not subscribe to the Jar Jar Binks as a Sith Lord theory, but I do think that he's a king and
At least not
should sit upon.
unironically.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
boy.
yeah,
I
I like how
subscribe to it ironically, like
Aftermath
Bigger
kind
Luke.
of Aftermath. Oh, Bigger Luke, I subscribe.
Bigger
to. There's
Luke
two Luke
is
Skywalker,
100% legit.
but that's a whole other topic.
Oh, earlier.
Yeah.
Earlier, people we didn't get to because we were talking about something else. But someone mentioned will Omega show up? And Jamie, let's hear your. I don't want to call it a
Give me the
crackpot
deets.
theory,
Give the deets.
but people think the ending song sounded like the Crimson Dawn song.
Yes,
I
so-
don't remember the Crimson Dawn theme. Pardon me.
Dawn.
So there isn't. Bow,
You
bow,
broke
bow,
Matt.
bow, bow, bow.
I was
So-
moving on. have fun with it, everyone.
So there is the entire end credits theme, the entire Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett theme, incredible, fantastic, iconic, so good. Oh my god. Ludwig and oh gosh, what is the new guy's name? Who does the score?
Josh.
Conroy, I think.
Josh Conway.
I gotta look it up. Somebody
I
look
don't
it up
remember.
while I talk about this. So none of you are. That's great.
I
I'll
blew
look
it.
it up.
I
I'll look it up.
I
I'll
couldn't
look it up.
talk.
I'm on a
Well,
phone.
regardless,
can't.
Ludwig did like the main title music. There we go. Josh Hershey, someone
Yeah.
in the chat posted. So Josh Hershey did the score for the episode, and he's gonna do it for the series. And Ludwig Göransson did the main title theme and the score assistant. But anyway, there are two moments in the end credits song that I really need to call out here. So there's the Crimson Dawn like motif. There isn't necessarily like a theme song for Crimson Dawn, but if you like listen to like the score from Solo, there is like a few like moments in which like it's like ba-da-da, it's something like that. So like listen for like that. Josh Hurley.
I don't know. Yeah,
I would
I'm
go with
super
Levi
curious.
here.
Joe Shirley.
Joe Shirley did the score for this episode. Sorry guys, I can't. So my favorite part of the song though. So I love how there's like the big blend of everything in general. Tamora has pushed so much for Boba to be like Maori and like have like that representation like there. It's just so cool to see it, and
Yeah.
like the music is a perfect reflection of that. And if you listen to when they start like singing ba 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 ba, that is the same exact notes as Omega's theme. It changes a little bit, but if you were to play the two of them together, they would complement each other. Like you would have like a soprano and an alto like sing each other, right? I'm not the best at music theory, but just trust me on this one. If you
I
were
like
to
it.
play the two of them together, one of them is slightly faster than the other one. I tried to do it the other day, but again, I'm not good at editing music, so I couldn't really get a good read on this. But the melodies are the same. It's so similar to how like they had Palpatine's theme and they changed a few notes and they made it Rey's theme. And then also with like the Ben Solo theme is just an inverted Kylo Ren theme. It's like poetry. It rhymes. Alpha and Omega. It's there. It's so I think that all the dominoes are lining up, and it's just gonna take one of them to knock it all over. And I think that Omega is going to show up in the show. Or I think at this moment, I think that it's okay if she doesn't, because we have the two songs connect with each other. My passion for this, I freaking love Omega. Okay, we've barely known her
Jamie's-
a year, and I love her. And if she shows up in the show, I think that it will be perfect, even if it is just for like a few minutes, like towards the end. That's fine. Someone mentioned in the chat earlier, it would make more sense if Boba showed up in the Bad Batch first, so we could see like their like initial like meeting. And I kind of agree with that. So that's why I think it'd be better if Omega does show up in Book of Boba Fett. I think it would happen closer towards the end for like a few minutes, and it's just kind of like, hey, I know you, and it's nothing too like crazy.
That's how it ends.
Just the
Hey,
knowing look. and
Omega,
nod.
Omega
It's
shows
the-
up and
it's
Boba
the-
and her are
the
like, hey, I
handshake.
know you.
It's the handshake, you
And Max
son of a-
Rebo's
Secret
Max Rebo's
handshake.
playing in the back.
the big flex.
The
Anyway,
level of
that's that.
intensity, the level of intensity and passion and gestures are what I was picturing the other night when you, Jamie, were texting me at midnight about the construction of Omega's sleep.
God, look,
Yeah.
okay, look.
Yeah.
This is another situation. So like in general with Omega, like I have this weird thought in my head that I should cosplay every single woman who's in the Bad Batch minus
should
Sid and
do
the
her.
Kaminoans, because like that's impossible, right? So I would love to make Omega, and I'm looking at her tunic, and there's just so much going on, and I'm not gonna get into it. But I
She might get a new outfit.
I might get a new outfit. That's all it says. But if Omega shows up in the Book of Boba Fett,
Oh, there you go. You have to.
and that's that. Omega's theme is just the Book of Boba Fett theme to complement each other. Listen to it, please.
I like it. We'll have to. I
Thank you.
think you should break them all down, line them up, and we'll listen to it.
Can I have
Okay.
someone who's like good at music theory to please help me out with this? Because I'm
Yeah, if
not even
anyone-
kidding. I don't know how to read music or shove it around. I can sometimes sing, but a little confused. I know it's there.
I would play our
Just trying to
theme
find it.
again, but I'll play it at the end when we end in a few minutes. And it's just a shame that I had to
Not
say
gonna-
Crimson Dong right before
Not
that.
gonna lie, I
'cause
just
was-
cried a little reading this.
Oh.
Ah,
Brother.
Oh.
but that was good.
Don't.
Any predictions going into week 2? Chapter
Knights
2.
of Ren are going to show up in episode 2.
See, that-
I'm going to say that every single time. It's a
There's
joke.
so
I'm
there's
not-
so
I'm not
much
serious.
going on in this show. Anything
not
could really
serious.
happen.
But Knights of Ren are going to show up, guys.
They could.
Yep.
That
Oh,
would,
guys,
that would
what
be
do you think
something.
the graffiti is?
KK. It says KK.
Yeah,
In
Yeah.
Huttese,
Huttese.
right?
Huttese, it's KK, or at least just one K twice. I don't know.
They're the
Club?
fandom menace. They're scrawling Kathleen Kennedy's initials on the wall
The
as a
Kathleen-
threat.
Kathleen
The show
Kennedy
is
gang
about
rides
taking
up.
down the fandom menace. That's
right.
yeah.
love how I
It's a
took it
good theory,
seriously.
Ryan. It's a good theory, Ryan.
It is.
I
It's a
think
good thing-
Kanja Club.
There were only two.
Tell that
Oh.
to
I'll say that
Kanja
much.
Club. I think
Kanja
that makes
Club-
the most sense.
I'm not super caught up on Crimson Reign, or I'm not even done War of the Bounty Hunters, but Contra Club is already Crimson Club.
Or okay,
Contra Club's already going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Well, Tassu
there's-
Leach is
Tasu Leach
about-
is
He's
out
in
there.
it.
He's
Yeah.
chilling. He was in War of the Bounty Hunters, right? Yeah, or he was in.
Oh,
Yeah, he was
Cad
in one of
Bane.
the
Did we
time
even talk about Cad Bane? Sorry to cut you off.
That,
No,
Because
Don't
I
you
mean, come
mean-
on.
Cad with the K. No.
Cat
Hey.
King.
Cad Bane.
I'm saying Knights
Cad
of Ren
Bane.
starts with a K.
Oh.
Knights of Ken.
Knights of Ken.
They're doll collectors.
Hello.
I'll be here all day.
Whew. Wow.
Wow.
So what was someone had one that was like too good like before?
Oh, Levi
that.
brings up a good point. I like that, Levi.
Crimson Con?
No, the
This one?
last one. Fennec Shand is related to somebody in Kanja Club. Somebody
That's
in Kanja
right,
Club's
there's a
last name was
Shand.
Shand. I
Oh,
remember
really?
that. Yeah,
Yes.
and
In
Fennec
the
Shand's
Force
name
Awakens
was-
visual guide.
I gotta go pull that
That
out.
was before Fennec Shand was ever introduced. So
It was before Mandalorian was even pitched. I think
Yeah.
they probably borrowed her name. Yeah.
So they got like the
Excuse
Shand
me.
name from
Jamie's already got
that
the
one
book
person
out
in
on
Kanja Club,
brand.
and they were like Fennec Shand.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
it was
we got-
also in
we
this
got the literature
episode.
ready to go.
This droid was also in the episode, but he was painted
You're
differently.
right.
If you guys noticed.
Oh yeah, he
I love
was.
that guy. Yeah. Behind the Boston Dynamic droids,
Yeah.
which
The
still
spot
or
droids.
robots, whatever they are.
And Matt Berry as a droid.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Very
yeah.
good. Amazing man. Not just for what's it called? What we do in the shadows, but there's a little show called Year the Rabbit that everybody should watch. That's really good. He plays a
NIT
detective
crowd.
in Victorian England, and it's really funny.
Oh, that does sound cool.
I've wanted to watch that.
It's really
IT
good.
crowd's also very funny.
I've heard IT Crowd's funny. I haven't
I
seen
think
that
that is
either.
amazing. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Interesting.
So
Yeah,
Croken
so-
Shand is
How did
the guy.
Croken Shand.
It's
And
the
he's
guy in
got-
the middle. It's the guy in
He's
the
got
middle.
the eye patch. Yeah, that guy.
Aha.
I don't know. You guys can't see my mouse. I don't know why I'm pointing with my mouse.
Uh,
I went with my
And-
mouse. I was like, that guy.
you know what's
Millie,
funny?
we
This
brought this
guy
up earlier
has-
over our Chipotle.
Ooh, yes, we did.
That in Battlefront 2,
Oh,
Boba's
yeah.
ship is on Takodana.
Dude, I would lose it. First of all, when we were talking earlier about how we're unsure of whether or not Tatooine is going to be the only setting for Book of Boba Fett, I pray to God that it isn't. I love Tatooine, but an entire show season set on Tatooine is going to get boring, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I would love for them to go to.
I think there's
Maz's
plenty going on
castle.
Tatooine, and there's
Guys-
6 episodes left. So I mean,
Guys, you know what the best part of this is? So Croken Shand. Sorry, gonna get weird here. Hang on. So
That's
see the
Croken.
rifle that he has in the middle, the longer
Yeah.
rifle with
Yeah.
the bone on the end.
That looks like
That's Sidon
Thanos.
Thanos. Because
Yeah.
he has
Yeah.
the. Are we gonna get Sidon Thano in
There
this?
you go. There you go. Sidon.
No.
This is the connection. This
I'm not
He
getting.
was in.
Don't give me
no.
hope.
we've connected the dots.
He was in the art for Mandalorian. He was in the
Yes,
concept
he
art for
was.
Mandalorian.
That's right.
They could
Yeah, he was.
reuse that.
They were using every other helmet and mask. Let's use his.
Sidon. All right,
All right.
I like that.
Sidon.
Anyway.
That's probably the best prediction to end on. But
Yeah.
All right.
That's
You know
a-
what?
remember when we
Wow.
built Maz's castle in Minecraft?
I do.
Yeah.
That
Chad,
was
I do.
that was the greatest time of my
Literally,
life.
oh my god, the greatest achievement of my life. 100%.
Yeah. One
No,
last
Nazis.
bit. So yeah, Q9 was by Richard Ayoade, who's also in IT Crowd. So we have 2
Right.
members from
Oh,
the
yeah.
cast of IT Crowd who have done droids in
That's funny.
Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, which is really cool.
And
K
Taika
stands for
Waititi,
kicks.
who was in What We Do in the Shadow. So,
If we get Sidon Thano, that means that we're gonna eventually get him in the sequel trilogy, more content for the sequel trilogy, and then we will get
okay.
kicks to connect the sequel trilogy back to the Clone Wars, and everyone's brains are gonna melt.
AJ,
and like the 30 people in the world who are obsessed with kicks, I've counted all of them. there's 30 of us. I'm just kidding. There's probably a lot more, but it seems like there's only 30 of us. We are gonna lose our brains. Okay.
I'll lose my brain. I'm ready to lose my brain. I've already lost it.
Yeah, Matt, you've lost your brain, and it's gone in. You are now a Bomar monk. So
Yeah.
that's a great.
His brain's
the shell.
inside my Oculus.
No, it's inside. It's inside the shell.
That's
You know
Matt
what?
as a Bomar monk.
Next week, you're gonna see the Bomar monks because we didn't see them yet.
That's true.
That's actually a really good like prediction.
That is, and I think that's gonna happen eventually because it was in the trailer. So, any final thoughts, guys? This was a fun one.
We've had final thoughts.
Any last questions, guys, in the chat as well? Before, because we managed to somehow stay on the rails the entire episode, aside from the Xbox chat.
I was about to say.
I mentioned
the Xbox chat was very relevant. That was the
Xbox chat
greatest
was
thing.
100%
I
relevant.
had to bring it
there was
up.
context.
We had to
so,
talk about the two Gamorreans looking like dopes.
Doi.
Literally me and AJ staring down at this poor destroyed Xbox, just splayed all over the table.
Opening
All right.
scene next week will be the Bomar monk. I like that.
That's a very big.
It feels like an opening shot.
We'll
the one in
leave
the
you
trailer.
guys with our song everyone's liking, our intro. It'll now be our outro as well.
All right, before you
And
play it,
yeah.
thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Ryan, for joining us this week on the HoloNet Marauders Live for Book of Boba Fett chat. You can find all of us on social media at HoloNet Marauder. We link to Ryan a lot. He's on a podcast called Force Friends Rewatch.
Find
Ryan
us
and
at
Andy
Force
are
Friends
awesome.
Pod on Twitter. Force
Yep.
Friends Pod.
They post a lot of stuff, and also Blackout Star Wars Eclipse.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there. Yeah. Sorry to end on that note, but back to Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett is where we are right now, and the High Republic comes out soon as well. So we're not gonna talk about that here, but we'll
Eventually.
You reminded me
chatting
of that
about it.
next week.
We'll be chatting about
Not
it.
even a week.
Anyway, thanks for watching.
See you on the HoloNet.
See you guys.
Bum, 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 bum,